Welcome back, and so let's get right into it. National security is in our line of vision, but we look specifically at the subnationals, Kogi State to be precise. And joining us this morning is the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State, Mr. Kingsley Farrell, who joins us virtually on the program. Mr. Farrell, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
And so we began on a bright note with the announcement of the rescue of those children. I would like you to first of all, give us a recap of this rescue mission, how it came so soon after they were kidnapped, and what are the fallouts of the rescue mission.
Thank you very much. It is quite instructive to note that all of our schools where examinations are being written and where we have students, we have put in place what we call a very robust security architecture to protect those that are writing examinations. That was why we could foil the one in Iluke. We relocated them to a safer place in the heart of the town, and ensure that security operatives are around the place. However, what happened in Oloa in the Kida local government area was quite different. The principal decided to take a few of the students who could afford, so to say, what is being paid for miracle centers to a school that is more or less in the forest to go and write the exams there, and that was what happened. So when they were kidnapped, the governor of the state immediately summoned the state security advisor and mandated him to immediately coordinate security efforts to ensure their immediate rescue. And within hours, the army, the police, the DSS, the civil defense, the vigilante, the local hunters, we have hundreds of them there. They saturated the place. We also were able to deploy technology to track the movement of those people, and then all their exit points where they usually take their victims through were blocked. We cut off their logistics. We were also on hand. I won't explain the details to get all of their communications. And there was tremendous pressure on them. The entire forest was saturated with security operatives, and they had no choice than to quickly abandon the victims because of the hot pursuit, and they knew that would lead to their them. But we didn't stop at that. Despite the fact that we were able to rescue them, we went after the kidnappers. I won't say so much about their fate right now, but I think they are giving account of their terrible deeds somewhere else. So that is the situation right now, and that was the reason. I spoke with a state security advisor on that very day, and he confirmed to me that the marching order given by the governor is that he should not come back to Lokoja until those people that were kidnapped are rescued. And he remained there. The chairman of the Tekina local government area also did a great job coordinating the local security architecture. And what is happening in Kogi State that is different from so many other states is the synergy between security forces, the 12th Brigade, the 12th Brigade in Lokoja, the 21 Battalion in Aiba, the DSS, the police, the civil defense, the local security architecture. All of them are working in synergy. So we have what we call interagency cooperation and collaboration in Kogi State, and that was why the good news came. And in the evening yesterday, at about past 4, the governor was inspecting some armored tactical vehicles that were procured to reinforce the onslaught on these criminals. And while inspecting those tactical vehicles, he also spoke to the media and assured the people of the state that the kidnapped victims from the Kina would be rescued. And just a few hours after that interview, the good news came into us. That was exactly what happened.
Yeah, commendation for the speed at which these people were rescued, but that doesn't remove the fact that Kogi is still prone to insecurity. And the reason is quite obvious. It's bordered literally by, I think, almost 10 states. So a lot of movements in and out of Kogi State. So if you look at the data of maybe from 2025 to up till now, you see some of these incidents that have happened. But let's talk about something that we've been reading across the reports. People are saying that this particular center was a miracle center. I want you to expatiate on this particular school and whether or not this was a proper school, whether this was a miracle center. What exactly are the facts available to you as government?
Thank you very much. You know, communities evolve over time, and the Olowa community, they have good schools that are well secured right now. That place is the miracle center. We want to de-emphasize it as much as possible. But, you know, we've been doing that, and even when we did our public communication on this, we were very tactical about the fact that we do not want to play that up because human lives are involved. We want to rescue them first, then we will come to the administrative part of it. It is in the heart of the forest. You know, even for security agencies to be able to get there, the terrain was very difficult. It is in the forest. And, you know, what these principals do is that apart from where exams are written normally, they will take some people to this forest where they could do a lot of manipulations and they carry out a lot of examination malpractices. But, you know, it went bad. It went bad on that particular day because, you know, they were not envisaging this kind of a thing. And it was very bad on the part of the principal because he should have known the security situation in the country right now and the efforts that have been made by both the federal government and the state government to ensure security. So taking innocent students to vulnerable area to write exam just for the sake of manipulation is something that, you know, we would frown at. We will take administrative steps later, but for now, we are still baffling in the euphoria of the rescue. The rescue victims right now on their way to Lokoja, where they will be given a lot of medical and psychological attention. That's what is there right now. So,
Mr. Fan, we're looking at, I don't know whether you can see, my producer will put it up so that everybody can see this school. Is that a school still in operation? Or that looks like literally an abandoned building.
Thank you very much. I can confirm to you that it is no longer in operation. The location was, you know, some of these schools started with community efforts. Community will just come together and then be able to put in place a structure for their people to be able to go to school. But they have a better school that is safer. That is where they are writing examination now. So this is no longer being used. The principal decided to just use this to perpetrate examination malpractices.
So I'd like you to give us an update on kidnapping incidents in other local government areas, some that came through, I believe, early in the month of June, somewhere in Yagba East local government area or Yagba West. I can't quite recall, but I recall that we had a conversation with a lawmaker in Kogi State who expressed concern and talked about the need for, you know, all hands to be on deck to ensure security of all lives and property. So I wonder if you have an update on those kidnapping incidents in that particular local government area, and more importantly, what is the state of security in that area in Kogi State?
Thank you very much. I would say that, you know, we rightly identified areas where we have these flashpoints. And what we are doing is to be able to take security infrastructure to these places as much as possible. You talked about Yagba West. You also, maybe you didn't remember to mention Kababunu local government area. Look at where that incident happened to be at the center of the Bono hinterlands. You have a lot of communities around the local Bono, you know, around that place, and you have very thick forest in those places. But what we have done now is that there is a forward operating base in that area. We have a lot of military presence, security presence in those areas now to mitigate any future occurrence. And as to the update, most of the people that were kidnapped in Yagba West have been reunited with their families. You know, We've done a lot to be able to crush them in that axis, and we are having a lot of cooperation and understanding with the Kwara State government, because that Yagba West shares border with Kwara State and some other states. So we're having a lot of understanding and cooperation with them. And you would see that in recent weeks, you have not been hearing of incidents of kidnapping. It is not that they are not trying to do that, but because we have preempted them and we are steps ahead of them, we have been able to stop them from unleashing criminality on our people in those areas.
What about the concerns around infrastructure in the highways connecting Kogi and Kwara? I recall the last time that we had you on the program, we drew attention to those highways and how forests around those highways are perfect, hiding spots and flashpoints for the kidnappers. Is there any intervention or a partnership between the Kogi State and the Kwara State government to provide rehabilitation work on those highways to deter any heinous criminal activities of bandits in those areas?
Yes, a lot of work is being put into all of those things. Let me also say that if you move from from Lokoja through Obajano, used to be a hot spot. And now we have a detachment of the military after Obajano, between Obajano and Oshokoshoko. You have a military detachment right now to cut off that entire area. That used to be the den of criminals and kidnappers, but those places have been taken over by the military and the other security agencies, and now they are positioned there permanently to do a lot of surveillance around that place. We are deploying technology a lot. We are not just relying on all of these patrol. Yes, white patrol is very good for physical intervention. A lot of surveillance, technology-driven surveillance, have been put in place to ensure that we're able to monitor their movement, and we are also clearing the forest. Along the road, what they usually do is to hide very close to the road, then launch attack from that place. But now we are clearing many meters, away from the road, so that the motorist will be able to see long distance, and then we have security presence almost everywhere. I will tell you that we have cooperation. The Edo State government, the governor of Edo State is doing a fantastic job as far as security is concerned. So he's working very closely with the governor of our state. The Kwara State governor also is doing a lot. So we have what we call an interstate cooperation to be able to ensure some of these. And the federal government is also doing well. Like if you look at the road to Kwara State that used to be very bad, and these criminals capitalize on that. It has been awarded. Work is ongoing in parts of that road now. So when the road is good, it becomes very difficult for them to just bump on the express that have very high traffic. So both the federal government, the state government, and the neighboring states, there is a lot of cooperation in that regard.
So are there other collaborative efforts that is helping? For instance, the what is considered the Lion Squad? And maybe because we've had Honorable Leke Abejide here, who represent the people of Yagba Federal Constituency, he talked about some of the things he's done with hunters and all of that. How has that helped in terms of security? Because if there is result, it's just to duplicate it. Because security in these rural areas, most of the things don't happen in urban centers, it happens in the area. So the issue of the Lion Squad and some of the collaborative efforts are cross hands, if you understand what I mean.
Yes, I understand you perfectly. I just said now that, apart from our people that are supporting us, neighboring states, we have a lot of cooperation now, especially Edo and Kwara states, and the Ekiti state, all the neighboring states, the level of cooperation is very high. So it's difficult for them to be able to jump into the state from those states or jump to those states from Kogi State. Then we're also talking about some of our people that are collaborating with the state government. Why you would hear that some political opponents who celebrate insecurity will be crying foul that there is a lot of insecurity in the state and all of that. Some of those lawmakers are already taking very bold steps to be able to collaborate with the state government to be able to, address some of these things. Why some of them have been able to, have an army operating base to support the government, facilitates the, bringing operating base to support the government. Honorable Leke Abejide has been exceptional, in supporting us and collaborating with us by ensuring that he supports our local security architecture. Kogi State has what we call the Vigilante Service. There used to be an ad hoc service before now, but now they've been given pensionable appointments, so that is galvanizing them to be dedicated to the duty of protecting the people of the state. And we also have the local hunters that have been recruited by both the state government and the local government to collaborate with all of these security agencies to be able to. So what Honorable Leke Abejide has done is marvelous. What he did was to launch that, collaborate with the state government, collapse it with the local security architecture of the state government, provided vehicular logistics, money to be paid to those hunters, training, and all of that. That has really helped us in boosting our local security architecture. And I would say that when Kogi is always talking about the state police, what we have in Kogi State is almost what you can call a state police. What we have not been able to do is to be able to have the legal backing of calling it a state police, and for them to have the right training and the right arm to be able to confront these people. I don't know if you have the visuals of the armored tactical vehicles that you saw 5 the other time. We have equipped more than 10 right now. And the governor right there yesterday was engaging the suppliers that he wants those that can go on those mountains and go after those criminals. In Kogi State, we are not going to negotiate. We are not going to pamper them. We will go after them according to the governor, and we will ensure that it's crushed. So people like Honorable Leke Abejide and a good number of other lawmakers in the state are contributing greatly. Even Honorable James Abiodun Faleke, they are contributing seriously to how we can boost our local security architecture in the state.
Because of time, yes. Yeah, my apologies, because of time. So let's talk about that state police. Kogi, I mean, for everybody who understands Kogi, should be of interest because of, when it comes to elections, Kogi is always very violent, and it's a volatile place. And I'm sure you cannot debate that because is out there when it comes to elections, especially in some parts of Kogi, maybe not the entirety. And the concern has always been everybody literally supports the idea of state police, except the fear of abuse. So when you as in government look at the issue of state police and the incoming idea of bringing this to fruition, is there any chance that government in the state will somehow weaponize state police for their own political gain, given the history of violence that heralds elections in your state?
Let me start by looking at the link between politics and criminality. Political leaders need to de-emphasize politicizing security issues. I read the statement credited to the former vice president of the country. And I don't know if it's the presidential candidate of any party now, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was trying to politicize what happened a few days ago in Kogi State and trying to use it as a political weapon for his own political gain. It's quite unfortunate. A statesman who wants to lead the country should show example. If he had 200 votes before that statement, I am very sure a lot of people who have been so disappointed that he was trying to politicize it would have withdrawn their support. These are the caliber of people that want to come and lead the nation. Having said that, the state police issue, when we talk about state police, it is unfortunate. I think the media needs to come in very strongly here. We need to sensitize our people. We need to bring a lot of analogies into it. Now, we have the police, the Nigerian police force. The Nigerian police is under the control of the federal government. Are we afraid that the federal government will use the Nigerian police force for political gains? That is going to be quite ridiculous. What is paramount now is the security of our people. I know that if we have state police with the right training, with the right arm, and they are manning their places, when you look at what Kogi State put together, the vigilante people, the hunters, are people from that village. They understand the terrain, they understand the footpaths, they understand everything in that community. And that helps them in being able to police the communities. That is what we can get from state police. Politics is contestation between interests. That would come. Politics will come. Politics will come every 4 years, every 2 years, and all of that. But what is most important is the security of our people. We will talk about lives before talking about voting. If people are killed, they can no longer vote. So what state police, what we should put on the front burners, what should be on the front seats when we are having this conversation is the security of our people. Let's even think of protecting our people first before you start talking of politics. Nobody is interested in that. And, I need to correct this impression that, elections in Kogi, elections everywhere are hot contests, and it depends on how it is played. It also depends on the body language of the leaders. In 2023, we had a governorship election in Kogi State that was the most peaceful in the history of the state, if not Nigeria. Because the governor went on reconciliation moves, went on consultations, preached peace, acted peacefully, and all of that. And that brought peace. So nobody's talking about violence anymore in Kogi State. Elections will come in January. Elections will come later in the year for the governorship, and the Kogi State people will come out to vote based on the performance of the federal government and the state government. So,
Mr. Farrow, while that is very, reassuring that nobody's talking about violence anymore in Kogi State, we are hoping that in another 3 weeks we'll not be back here to talk about another kidnap incident. I recall prior to this rescue operation and the attack on this school, there was an attack in which a VP and a child was killed, I believe somewhere in Kababunu local government area, in what was termed really the foiling of what would have become a mass abduction. And, prior to this time, I believe sometime in February, the governor had to order a closure on schools. You say that there have been deployments of, a forward operating base in some parts of Kogi State, but there are 21 local government areas in Kogi State. What assurance are you providing for Kogi residents this morning that schools, learning environment will be a safe place for them and there will be no more security concerns?
Thank you very much. Let me first untie what you wanted to tie together, illogically. Violence, we're talking about election violence, is quite different from this terrorism that we are talking about. I say that election violence is no longer an issue in Kogi State, because the people will vote according to your performance. They want to see the roads that the governor, the government, or the president has done. They want to see. That is going to determine their voting. Nobody is interested in what used to happen, 15, 20 years ago. They want to see what the people are doing. And, they are, when you look at Kogi State generally now, except this terrorism, it is very peaceful, except these terrorists that are not Kogites, people coming from other parts of the country or even other parts of the world to come and wage terrorism on the people. So there's a difference between the two, and it is important that we separate this before we go into the next part of your question, which is about the guarantee. I can assure you that the state government is doing excellently in ensuring that the school environment is safe. Our safe school program is going on very fine. We don't want to disclose a lot of things because we don't want them to even know some of the things we have in our schools. When they know, they might want to destroy some of those things. But we are monitoring their movement. When they wanted to go and attack a place in Bede, I will not mention the exact name, they wanted to attack a church there. We got to know because of the kind of technology we've installed in those areas, and we were able to mitigate and control it. It was, except the fact that we went to the media and told them to stay away from going to church between so time and so time. We didn't say much about it. And that was completely averted. A lot of these have been averted because of the technology we've deployed and because of the security infrastructure that we have been able to put in place. When you look at that Buffalo, that's armored technical, that vehicle, you will know that it is not a child's play. We are not joking with them. We are putting infrastructure even on those vehicles that will be able to deal with these criminals, once and for all. So we are not resting. 50 of these are coming to the state, and we that shows we are investing huge sums of money to be able to secure the lives of our people. And when you see what happened in Oloa too, less than 2-3 days after that incident, you saw how proactive our security agencies are. I want to commend our security agencies,
yes.
And I want to thank Mr. President, because he was on phone with the governor,
Mr.
many times to ensure that this
we're out of time.
So we received the support of the federal government, and we received the support of all security agencies to get this done. We are grateful.
Yeah, well, we understand your line of thinking that security management is a highly classified area, but we are keeping our eyes on the outcomes, and we'll be here to tell, hopefully, positive ones for not just Kogi State, but indeed Nigeria. Mr. Kingsley Fanwo is the Commissioner for Information and Communications in Kogi State. Thank you for coming on the Morning Brief.
Thank you very much for having me. You'll only be hearing good news about Kogi State. Nothing but just good news. Thank you.